Happy Friday. I wanted to do this live video with all of my authentic brand leaders. And if you are live and on Facebook, I'd love for you to hop on and listen in and put your comments on the chat and make this as engaging as possible. So this week in the group, we're talking about adjusting your comfort zone. And I love this topic because a lot of times, especially when we're doing work that matters or if we're leading our life and our business in a way that's meaningful, we're going to have to do things that are way beyond what we're comfortable with. And kind of put yourself out there, step out of your comfort zone, insert all of those other sayings here. And I just kind of wanted to share a little bit of kind of insight and some tips on just how to do so. Because whenever we step out into the unknown, I think there's a lot of fear that can be involved, fear that can pop up and kind of really keep you from doing things that are super comfortable. And hi, so glad you're here. But when we're doing something that we're really comfortable with, we don't grow as much and we don't change. But really, it's whenever we are pushing ourselves to try something new, that's when we can really grow. Hi, Jenna. Glad you're here and joining us. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about common fears that may happen whenever we kind of have the courage to pursue something that matters. So a lot of things that I hear people talk about that struggle with, and I've definitely dealt with all these too, are things like rejection, fear of rejection, of wondering what people will say, or not accepting what your ideas are, and not accepting who you are. A lot of fear of comparison, and a lot of fear of just maybe competency as well, like not feeling like you have the right skills in order for you to be successful. But a great example that I love to think about when I think about stepping outside your comfort zone actually comes from Seth Godin. If you're not quite familiar with his work, he's a genius, so definitely check him out. He's written a bunch of different books, but this one comes from his book called The Icarus Deception. And he talks about the example of going on a high dive. Right? You just picture it's summertime, you go to your local swimming pool, and there's a huge high dive. And all the other kids are kind of jumping off of it, doing cannonballs, doing fancy dives and everything. And you are really curious and you just want to try for yourself. So you go up on this high dive and you're on the high platform and you're super, super scared because you've never done it before. You've never taken the plunge and you don't know if it could end in a disaster. And so taking that jump, actually jumping off that high dive, that's way out of your comfort zone. But the reason why it's out of your comfort zone is because you've never done it before. But once you take that step, even once you take that leap and jump right into the deep end, you'll find that it's so much fun, right? It wasn't that bad. And then you want to do it again. So because you have that little experience of trying it and it not, totally bombing in your face, you want to do it again. So you go up the high dive again, you're a little less nervous, but you're a little bit more comfortable, and then you can jump off again. And you can do it all afternoon until you look back and realize, wow, the first time was really scary, but now I can do this. So that's the analogy that I love to use whenever I think about doing something new. The first time is always scary because you just don't know what it's going to be like. You don't have that experience yet. But once you try, even if it's a baby step or huge, dive off the deep end, until you try, you're not going to know. And so one personal example that I have of stepping out of my comfort zone is actually doing these videos. I think I've started about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago now. But going on video is actually super scary for me because I just didn't really have that much experience in it. It's actually, to be honest, kind of awkward to talk into a camera and see your face and not quite sure who's on the other side listening. But once I just tried, I started out with starting out talking about a topic that I'm super comfortable with. I actually, to be honest, practiced in advance so that I felt confident in things like my delivery. So the first time I kind of used content that I was comfortable with to, so then the platform itself wasn't as scary. And then the second time I did it, I knew it wasn't that bad and I could do it again. And it actually turned into like a weekly habit almost. Like I would post a video every Tuesday or Friday, at least once a week now. And every single time I know I can, I can just talk. I can just share my knowledge. I can share some tips, and then it's just a little less scary and a lot more comfortable. And now I don't really have to practice what I'm saying as much. I can kind of do it as I go. I can kind of do it kind of stream of consciousness, if you can't tell already. So yeah, so now I would say I'm definitely more comfortable with video, a lot more room to grow, but I'm okay with where I'm at. So I just wanted to kind of encourage you today, wherever you are along your journey, whatever that seemingly scary next step may be, I just want you to remind you that it's scary because it's the unknown. And when you're stepping out into something that you aren't comfortable with, it's really going to stretch and grow you. So a couple tips I had in mind is when that happens, really focus on the positive. Instead of thinking about all of the fears, really think about what the reward could be. So for example, for me in the videos, the reward for me was knowing that I could really make connections quickly with people, that I can build my know, trust, and like factor in a very relational kind of way, which is kind of like my favorite thing. And so knowing what your rewards are, knowing why you're doing it, it's really going to help you propel you to take that next step. And then you can decide too, another tip is you can decide how deep of a plunge you want to take, so to speak. If you want to take a baby step, great. If you want to take a huge step, that's great too. Just figure out what you're comfortable with among the uncomfortable, and then just do it. And then make sure every time you do it, take some time to kind of get some feedback. Check in on yourself or ask other people. What went well? What did you like about it? How did you feel? If you could do it again, what would you do differently? And that way you're always working on progress and not perfection. So that's kind of what I have for you today. I would really challenge you to really step out of your comfort zone, because comfort zones are adjustable. You're going to look back a month, 3 months, a year from now into this point and realize, man, that actually wasn't so scary. And I actually am really capable of a lot of things. So if you have any thoughts or other tips, I would love to hear them. Feel free to put them into our Facebook group or reach out to me via email at she@shechencoaching.com. I will look forward to hearing more from you and let me know if there's other ways that I can support you. Have a great Friday. Bye.